Okay, at this point I have my design folder and I have sneaker designs in here. I have probably 4 or 5 sneaker designs, not just 2 that I put in here. And I also have 2 articles of clothing. Once you have all these articles of clothing, we're now ready to take the next step. I got all my pictures in my folder ready to go for my website, and now I'm ready to create the website. To start the website, I'm going to scroll over here to the sidebar and hit on applications, or I can hold down the command button, hold down shift and press the letter A, and that will also bring me to the applications folder. I'm looking for iWeb sites, not iWeb as you see here, but iWeb sites, which is a file manager so that I can keep straight all my projects or everyone's project that uses this computer. So I could double click on iWeb sites right here and allow that to start up. When this opens, there may be a couple people's names of projects in here. You don't have to be concerned with that because you're going to start a new site. So you click on New Site on the right-hand side, click on New Site, and then immediately click on Rename. And I'm going to put in my last name and then my first name. Obviously, you're going to put in your last name and first name and then design for your project name. Okay, so you're going to rename this website to be last name, first name, design. Click OK, and there is your project name, and it's highlighted right here, and I can say open now. Every time I open up this project from here on out, I will go through iWeb sites in the applications folder and then select my name from the list and then hit open now, and it will automatically open up iWeb for me, and it will bring my project to the screen. I'm going to go through the list on the left-hand side, trying to find a theme that best fits my theme for my company, or I could just pick one that I like the best, really. You want to take a look, special attention to the welcome, about me, and maybe even the movie theme here, because these are the 3 easiest web pages to work with. If you talk about photos, my albums, the blog, the podcast, any of these things are going to be a little bit too complicated. They're going to ask me for too much information for a bunch of different stuff to put in the pictures and albums and all sorts of stuff and dates and whatever. I don't want to. So basically, the 2 best ones are the welcome and about me. They look the most professional. They have pictures on them. They have places for the words. Sometimes the movie can be a little bit bland, but one of these 3, that's what you should be focusing on as you go through the themes on the left-hand side right here. You want to focus on the welcome, about me, and movie. And once you find something that you want to use, go ahead, select that item, and then click on choose. So I could just double-click it, and then I'm going to start off with the about me, and I double-click here, and a blank web page starts up. First thing I want to do when I open this up is I want to make sure my site name is going to be adjusted here. I'm going to click on the site name once to highlight, a second time to change the name, and I'm going to put in my last name and first name. Don't skip this step. Make sure that you're putting in your name every step of the way so we can find these projects if they get lost. And I'm just going to name it Design again, and that's going to be the name of my site, and you can see it change out here for my site name. Then I'm going to go ahead and click on About Me, and I can start making changes to this project. The first thing I want to do is change up and start putting my company name in instead of About Me. So I select it once to highlight, another time to edit, and I'm going to put in my company, or you're going to put in your company name right there as the first page or the home page. So the big picture here is that I'm going to have my whole website, and the first page I'm going to have is my home page, and I want to give a company overview. I want to incorporate a couple things here. A few things that you want to make sure that you have. Okay, so you have the home page, and that's going to be your first page here, and you want to make sure that you name it your company name on the home page. It has to be front and center. And when you rename it here, instead of About Us or About Me or whatever, you rename it to your company name, it automatically changes over here, or vice versa. You could do the difference here to make up for this. But you want to make sure that your Your company name is right here, front and center. And then you could also make sure that you are changing up the names for each one of your sub pages here, so that it's either the name of your t-shirt or simply t-shirt, sweatpants, shoes, or if you have special names for each item, you can put them right there. Also, you want to make sure that you have the company overview or the mission statement for your company. So on your home page, you want to get to the part where you would actually be writing at the bottom left-hand side there, or the bottom center. And you want to make sure that this area right here, I'm going to highlight it and just start typing and writing about my company. So a few things that you want to mention about your company is that you want to identify who your target audience is, who your customers are. So if you're talking to BMXers or cheerleaders or bookworms, you want to say, hey, if you like grinding gears out on the BMX track like I do, here's the shoe for you. Or you say, cheerleaders for years have been looking for the ultimate cheerleading shoe, and here it is. So switch it up, be creative with your writing, and tell me, what your company's all about, who your company makes the shoes for, and tell us why your company is better than any other company for your products. Okay, so all of that would be written down in this area right here as part of your website. Remember that these photograph areas are drop zones. If you hold your mouse over it long enough, it'll even tell you that these are placeholders and drop zones, not what your pictures are going to be. So you do not want to delete these. Okay, this has a mask around it, and it has this nice cutout here, which looks kind of sharp. You want to make sure that you keep this area intact, and then you take your files. For instance, here's the picture of my sneaker. I could take this item, and I'm just going to drag it right over top of the drop zone, and then bam, it's into the drop zone. But you can see that the front of the shoe is cut off. That is not a good thing for my home page. So I double click on this item, and it shows me that I am now in the mask, and I can move my shoe around inside the mask. Okay, and then I could resize it so that the shoe comes through all over. Right, I could do like one of this right here, and it looks like maybe the shoe is even going up a step right there. Right, so I can double click and reposition my shoe. Okay, so I click once, and then I double click, and I'm able to reposition my shoe wherever I want it on the page so that it fits into that mask and looks great. Likewise, we have another drop zone right here. I can take one of my t-shirts here and take my t-shirt, just drag it into the drop zone. Oh, let me highlight it first. I'm currently in the mask over here for the shoe, so I need to click out of that, click onto the drop zone that I'm going to go into, and then take my picture of a t-shirt or whatever item you want, drop it in there. If I wanted to increase the size of this, I simply just double click on it, increase the size. You see how it's increasing the size but staying within the mask, right? And then I can take it and reposition it in the mask to get rid of any writing if I feel the need to. If not, it's okay if this little area on here, custom ink, or a little box up top here opens up. Doesn't really matter to me. But if you click outside, then you see what the mask is going to look like, and it looks sharp and concise. I like it. And if you need to add a picture to your web page, so I have this web page here, but let's say I would like to show my front and back of my shirt all within this area right here. So to do this, I want to make sure that I duplicate my drop zones. I don't want to just drag my pictures in and just drop them onto the page without any kind of formatting. Okay, so I want to avoid this where I just drop in a straight picture over top. I want to make sure that I'm using a drop zone somewhere along the way. So I click on this placeholder right here, and I hit Command D, and that will duplicate. Or I could go up to the Edit menu up in the upper iWeb bar and say, Command D or Edit, Duplicate, and I create a new picture here now. So now I could take the back of my shirt right here and maybe put it over top of, so I have the front and back. Now the theme in the background does not look good anymore because it's being cut off by my second picture. I could resize pictures, fit them in a little bit, to make them look good. Or I can also change the mask a little bit, but also fit with the theme. To do this, what I'm going to do is click once on the picture that I'm going to edit. I double click on it to get the mask up. And then you see this dotted line, that is where the mask edge is going to be. And if I click on that, it comes up with all these dots. Now I could reposition these dots to be different positions of the mask. And voila, I just changed the mask of that shoe up here. So now I click off of it, and now I have the mask. So maybe I increase bring this, double click on it, and then bring it up a little bit to fit the shoe in. I'm missing some parts down here at the bottom, so it's a balancing act here to fit everything in and make it look good. So now when I click off of it, I have the shoe up top with a t-shirt down here, or whatever two pictures that you want to incorporate over here, you can add to. I could do this a couple different ways. I could just duplicate the picture here, or sometimes I can go and create a whole new page over here and then just steal a picture frame from a different page. So I can say add page. Of course, I want to stay within my theme. Okay, so I take a look at my theme and I say, oh, look at this. It has two pictures side by side right here. It would kind of fit in nice. I double click on this one here. It brings open a whole new page over here. I click on the new page, the blog. Oh, here are my two pictures. I'm going to select both of those pictures by clicking on one, holding down the shift button, and clicking on the other one. This way I selected two boxes at once here. That was a shift, and then I clicked on both of them. And then I hit Command C to copy, or I could go to the edit menu and say Command C to paste, or go to edit, copy, and then delete my blog out of here, go back to my home page where I want to drop those two pictures in. And let's just say I still have just one picture here, like I show you here. Let's just say I could actually delete this one and then paste in my two new pictures. Command V to paste. I plop them in, and this actually kind of fits in there nicely because of the Tetris-like design. It fits in, and then I could just take my pictures from my server and just drag them over top of. So now I could put in boop, switch up that spot here, and then take my other file and drop it in right there. And again, if I wanted to edit, I double click, and then I can move, resize within the mask, and then click out, and there you have it. I have my two pictures. So again, I added a page down here. I took the pictures that I wanted from the one page, and then I deleted that page out of here and then pasted it into the page that I really wanted it to go into. Let's briefly talk about the product pages. Okay, so I'm talking about the t-shirts, sweatpants, or shoes, or maybe you've named these websites or these web pages here the name of your product, whichever name you gave it. Maybe you have a creative name. So on this page, you want to have the title of the product page. You either want to put the sneaker or t-shirt or sweatpants or whatever, or the name that you gave it. You want to give it some features of the product, and I could find some features of the product by going back to the Nike ID website or the Custom Ink website. I'll show you that in a second. And you also want to tell why the product is better than all the others, okay? So make sure that you incorporate some persuasive writing to kind of make people want to go out and buy this product because it's better than everything else. It's yours, okay? So let's go and try to find some features. Maybe this will help you with your writer's block. If you can't think of anything to say, maybe you could start off with some of the information that comes from Custom Ink or Nike ID, and then we can expand upon it from there. So let's start there. So if I'm back on the Custom Ink website, I'm going to go to my products page. I'm going to find the t-shirt that I use, and maybe even to find a different t-shirt that I didn't use, but I noticed that it is the most expensive t-shirt. So I look for those items. When I see this triple dollar sign, I know that this is going to be an expensive t-shirt. So I can see that it says a couple things here: lightweight, trendy, great price, and then it also has some product overview things here. Okay, this isn't exactly what I want to see. I don't want to see just super soft, luxurious fabric, but maybe expand upon that a little bit. Talk a little bit about the ribbed cuffs, but then also add your own mix to it. So don't just give me the exact thing from the website, but expand upon it a little bit. So again, here on the Nike webpage, I have the shoe up here, but then I also down below. So you pick out the shoe that you chose, and you can see some of the features that Nike thinks is important, and then possibly take some of this information, add it to yours, and expand upon it. Okay, make it really snappy to make me want to buy your product over the one I see on Nike. So if this is my webpage of my sneaker here, I want to switch it up, and then I want to weight loss sneaker. I want to put on the name of the sneaker that I have, and then I want to write about the sneaker here. Here is your solution. So just go ahead and I'm going to start writing, and then I'll grab some of the information that I got from the Nike ID website and so on and so forth, and I'll put it in there and I'll incorporate it. Okay, so go ahead and fill that out. Make sure that each page, and that you don't want welcome on this page. Obviously, you want to change that up to be what your sneaker name is, and make sure that everything is your own and not what the theme originally had on it. It looks like the theme, it's where the theme was, it's the same font, it's the same sizes, but you want your own information where they put stuff. Okay? Let's also make sure that we have hyperlinks here. So what I'm going to do is have a hyperlink so that when I go to my home page and I see my sneaker here and I click on my sneaker, it takes me to the sneaker page. Okay? So here's how I do that. I select the item. You have to have the picture selected. The shoe is selected in this case, and then I'm going to open up the inspector. The inspector is down here at the bottom right. I click on the inspector window opens, and this button right here is for the link inspector. Goes to the link inspector, and now I have my shoe highlighted or selected with the handles around it, and I'm going to say enable as a hyperlink. I click on this enable, and it's going to say link to an external page, which will give me apple.com. No, let's go to one of my pages because I've already created the sneaker page. So one of my pages, and then I say scroll down here to the bottom, and I'm going to say my shoe. So I want to hyperlink this picture to one of my pages called the shoe, and the shoes is right here. You have this item right here. So I'm going to send this picture. So now it's a hyperlink, and how do I know it's a hyperlink? It shows me this little corner right here, and it's giving me this corner because of the way that it's not this picture here. This will be a separate hyperlink, and I will take this and then say, okay, this t-shirt hyperlink to one of my pages, and I'm going to say my t-shirt page. I'll select my t-shirt page from that list there. So now this will take me to the t-shirt page as the other one. And so I'll do that with all my pictures on my page. So if I have a picture of a t-shirt, that should send me to the t-shirt page. If I have another picture out over here of another product, then of course hyperlink it to that product's page as well. Once I have my basic website done and I think I'm ready to refine and maybe even turn in, here's what I want to do first. You want to make sure that you're editing your work and listening back for great grammar. So once I have my information typed up here, I want to highlight the information that I'm going to be writing about my home page or about my products or my company, I want to highlight that information, and then I want to right click on it or hold down the control button and click, and I want to go to speech and start speaking right here. We'll tell the computer to read those words to me. Anything that's highlighted, it will read at that point. I want to make sure that it sounds right. I want to make sure that I don't have a couple key mistakes that are very common for 8th graders to make. Let's review those now. So some common mistakes you want to avoid are the homonyms, and you have to know what word you're actually trying to say here. There, and there all sound very similar. However, there is a place, there is possession, and they are is a conjunction of they are something. Okay, so you have where, to. It really makes it sound silly if you're using the wrong words in the wrong context. So you want to make sure that you have the correct words. And even if you have the computer read it back to you, you won't be able to hear it because it's going to sound the same. So you got to make sure that you're using the right words with the right definition. Also check your punctuation. If you have a sentence that ends with a period, you don't start the next sentence right here. What you need to do is have a space and then start with a capital letter, so on and so forth. So you want to make sure that and same thing with a comma. You're not going to put a comma and then not put a space afterwards. You always have to have a space after your punctuation. Okay, fragmented sentences. Make sure that your sentences complete a thought. They have a full thought in every sentence. And then you want to check your run-ons. If you have too many thoughts in a sentence, it will become a run-on, and then that will be incorrect as well. So keep those in mind when you're writing and you're listening to your words when you go to hear your speech, as stated earlier. All right, so now your website is completely finished, and you have all 4 web pages. You have the overview of all your products here, or your company is going to be on this page here, and then you have product descriptions on each one of the sub pages, and you have the pictures, and everything fits the theme, and it looks nice, and it's tight, and you're ready to send it in. So I'm going to go back to the home page right here where it says my last name, first name, design, and then I'm going to go to publishing, because I can't just turn in this file here, or when I would publish this onto a normal website, I'd have to create a group of folders, and iWeb does this for me nicely. So I want to publish to, and I'm going to select, instead of mobile me, I want to select a local folder. And then I'm going to come down below here where it says the folder location, and I'm going to select a folder location by hitting the choose button over here on the right. And if you couldn't see that, let's open it up right here. I hit the choose button, and I'm going to go back to my server. Okay, so student server, I want to select my name, and I want to select my documents folder. I'm going to hit choose down below here, that's where I'm going to send it to, my documents folder on my server. So I have my name here, documents folder on the server, not on the computer. And then I hit choose, and now it's going to send it to my server documents folder. I come down over to the lower left-hand side here where it says publish site, and I'm going to click on publish site. It says, are you sure? Before publishing copyrights and blah, blah, blah. I'm fine with all that. I don't even need to show that again. I hit continue, and it's going to create a folder structure in my documents folder. So let's take a look at that now. Inside my server, I will be able to see my name, my documents folder, and then here it is. I have my last name, first name, design. Okay, and this is the folder that was created by iWeb, and you can see the index. This is the index. This is the home page that I was using, and these are all the folders, and inside these folders are all the files that it takes to build this website, all the pictures, all the fades, all these little blocks, and all the colors. All that stuff is going to be incorporated into this folder structure that was created by iWeb. This is the file that you need to turn in. This folder right here that says last name, first name, design. And if you look at it, if you look on the inside by going to the column view right here, you will be able to see that all those files are in there, and it says index and it has the names of each one of your web pages, so on and so forth. That's the file you want to submit. Turn that into the Dropbox.